Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk Your Shit podcast.
This is your host, Melody.
And this is your host, Sabrina.
And now it's time to talk our shit.
Cheers to that, sis.
Cheers.
Mm.
Okay, guys. So today's episode is gonna be a great one.
Yeah.
Okay. It was in a high demand for both
Highly
Sabrina and I.
requested.
Yeah, highly requested. A lot of you guys sent us, requests of talking about this topic. So today's episode is going to be about how to step into your divine feminine energy and how to reconnect with your feminine energy. Okay.
I
So
love your hair. It's so good. I did it.
yeah, you did it. So, guys, just for you guys to know, everybody, whether you're a man or a woman, we all have both sides. Okay, so we have a feminine energy, we have a masculine energy, and for you guys to understand the difference, having the feminine energy is more about the creative energy, everything about like being more creative, being more flowy, being peaceful, calm, all of that, that vibe, yeah,
It's giving.
and having that masculine energy is more the hustle, the discipline, working hard and hustling days out, days in, and really just working and being organized and all the structure. So so that's pretty much the difference.
Yeah, and that's important to know because I always we're gonna be tend to think that like it's whether you're feminine or you're masculine, but everybody, whether you are a man or a woman, you do have both. It's just that there's always going to be one that's going to be dominating the other one. For example, in the last couple of years and in the era that we are right now, all of the women are more stepping into their masculine energy, whereas something that before men were really, hard work and discipline, and the woman was, more so taking care of the kids and being more, you just look cute, your man brings you on a date and it's kind of, you call it a day. But now, women being more tapped in with their becoming entrepreneur and having their things together, it's really more so stepping into their male energy. But again, how we were saying with our mission that, it's okay for you to celebrate your alpha energy, but to still being extremely feminine. And that's what we wanted to do today. Really kind of give you some tips. Obviously, guys, there's so many different tips that we could give you, but we wanted to, I believe it's 5 that we have for you guys today. And so the first advice that I would give you, if you want to be able to really tap into your feminine energy, which by the way, we're going to tell you in today's session that it's okay to be masculine. You shouldn't be pushing that away, but we'll come back to that later. You really want to be able to have a creative hobby, something that's going to allow you to get into a flow state. For example, we have a background of dancing. When we were dancing, and I'm sure it's that for you too, you were just in the flow. You were just doing it because you were feeling good. Basically, what that means is you want to find a hobby that's going to make you feel good, being in a feel good moment, bringing you in the flow state. For some of you guys, it might be drawing, it might be reading, it might be having a little tea and having some time to think, going for a walk. It could be so many different things. And if you don't have a hobby, just know you don't have a hobby yet. And what you should do is open yourself to allow the ideas of finding a hobby to you. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't like, for example, my hobby is dancing, right? And so, but when it came, it wasn't like, I want to find a hobby. My hobby kind of just found me, right? Like we don't have the same background. We all have like different backgrounds when it comes to dancing. But when I started, I always kind of knew I loved it. And when I did it, it just made me feel good. And I just didn't know why. I was just like, I guess I love dancing. And then I started, it took me a long time to realize though that was my hobby. And so that's going to really help you because obviously being feminine is all about your creativity. It's all about being in your flow state. It's all about feeling good and, like feeling good and doing good. So creating and finding a hobby that's going to allow you to do that will help you get tapped in with your feminine energy.
Yeah. Especially if you're, like us, a woman in business, you always tend to, be in a rush and be, okay, I need to do this and this and that. I have a million things on my to-do list and I need to be active and productive, right? Yeah. That's one of the problems that I have with my business. I always want to be productive. You know what I mean? And I feel like when sometimes, for example, if I'm spending too much time on my hobby, well, I'm like, oh no, I feel the guilt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same. But we gotta stop that.
Yeah, we gotta stop that right now.
Because divine feminine women do not stress out for no reason.
Yeah. And if you actually take the time to,
we gotta work on that.
And when you spend the time on your hobby, that's when you're gonna be able to relax and step into your divine feminine
And
energy.
because also when you do things that make you happy, you vibrate so high. It's like, for example, you know, sometimes how we feel bad, like to go out and have fun and all that stuff, which we're a little crazy. It's okay. It's okay. We're crazy. But every time I do it, I vibrate so high the next day because I had so much fun. Obviously, having fun doesn't mean you have to go to a club and drink. No, but it's like, do not feel that guilt because it allows you to vibrate higher. And so that again, sometimes it's not just a hobby, it's just an activity that just makes you feel well in general.
Yeah.
So that will be point number one.
Point number one. So on to the next point number two. The second thing you should do to really step into your divine feminine energy is to actually feel your feelings. And I know sometimes it's a little bit hard. Okay, you gotta be vulnerable. You gotta, be willing to really just be okay with what you're feeling right now and accept it and feel them sometimes. And the thing is, when you start, if you guys are doing personal development, you start to analyze your feeling too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I caught myself doing that, because you want to really understand why you're feeling that way and you're over analyzing everything. But sometimes stop trying to just analyze. Yeah, just feel them, accept them, and then you're going to be able to let them go. And that's how you're going to be able to really feel good and feel at peace with yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to push the feelings away, well,
you're holding it in, and you're gonna explode.
Yeah, and you're feeling in that, you're not feeling good, you're feeling angry, you're feeling like it's not a great feeling, and it's even worse. So just accept the way, and really trying to be like, okay, where am I, how am I feeling, and where do I feel it?
Yeah, and also try to understand what triggered it.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like that? I feel like that helps as well to help you express it overall.
Yeah.
And a lot of time we get caught up in, sorry for cutting you off, but let me know what you think, that, sometimes depending on where you are and your culture, we've been taught to sometimes not express your feeling because that is a sign of weakness, but I actually think you are stronger if you are able to express your feeling.
Yeah.
Right?
100%. If you're you gotta be strong enough to actually express your feelings, and if you're, sometimes some people, they're gonna feel better when they talk about it. Some people they're gonna feel better when they're alone and feel them alone. Some people they're gonna have to, you're gonna express them in a different way. You're gonna feel your
100%.
feeling. It's gonna be different for everybody, but you gotta find a way for you to actually express your feelings. That way you can let them go after that and feel better, feel happier, and that's how you're gonna be able to step into your feminine energy. Because if you're not doing that, you're always going to be in that, no, I don't want, I have to do the work and, be productive, and I don't have the time to feel my feelings, but that's not a good habit.
And sometimes it's like, I don't care, I don't have no feelings. I don't think it's cute. I think it's giving mean girl vibes. I think it's giving you feel you too fresh for school, but it's okay. If you don't want to show me that you're not feeling good, it's okay, but you have to feel your feelings. If you need to be alone in your room, do what you got to do. Listen, I come from a Latin household where, crying is a sign of weakness. Listen, I'm a Scorpio, so trust me, I'm a cry. I'm a cry. And so my entire life I've been like, stop crying. But today I understand that it's one of my strengths to be able to really tap in with my feelings and the way I feel, to make sure that I always feel okay. And because if you're never able to trigger and identify what triggers that negative feeling, you will never know how to not feel that way again.
And it's going to get worse.
It's going to always happen and get worse. Yeah. So that was pretty much point two. And I feel like it's so important for you guys to understand it is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of showing that you're a personally developed person. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was number two. Number three on how you can really tap into your divine feminine energy is to really, I want you to stop wasting your time doing things you don't want to do. And it's okay to say no. And I'm going to tell you guys why. Every time you do things that you really don't want to do, unless it's like work and you got no choice, I'm sorry, it is what it is. You don't like your job, quit your job, find another one. But every time you're doing things you don't want to do, you're letting yourself vibrating low and you're letting yourself being at a level where you are being unhappy. If you're unhappy, you're not being creative, you're not being open-minded, you're not allowing any blessings, therefore are pushing away completely your divine feminine energy. So stop doing things you don't want to do and start acknowledging what it is that you want to do, who do you want to be? And if there's friends you don't want to see, say no, man. I'm sorry, if I don't want to chill, I'ma say no. If I don't want to go to that place, I'm sorry, I love myself too much to just say yes. And the entire time I'm gonna be freaking miserable and not happy to be there, and then you're negative, and then you attract negative, and then you're being low, you're not in the flow, and then it's like you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, and you're the only one that is suffering from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I love the fact that you said, I love myself too much. It's all about self-love. I believe. You gotta learn how to love yourself enough to say no to people that you don't want to see, to say no to things that you don't want to do. And like she was talking about, 9-to-5 jobs and all that stuff. If you don't like your job, find another one.
Yeah, because you're letting yourself operate for no reason.
And I remember when I was working at my job at the bank, I was unhappy as hell, and it was affecting all areas in my life.
Yeah.
So find yourself, and I know it's not everybody that can say like, I have a business, I can quit my job. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There's other jobs.
There's other jobs.
That are looking for you.
Exactly.
That's what I said. Like, there is a job right now waiting for you to quit your job that you hate, to go and apply there. They're going to hire you. They're going to love you. They're going to celebrate you and pay you way more.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not just about a business. Bro, there's a ton of freaking jobs, and you're freaking smart. You went to school. You paid a lot of freaking money to get your diploma. Use it. Mm-hmm. Respect yourself enough and go where they're going to celebrate you. This employer, whatever, is not happy, is not help. Move. They need you at the end of the day. Period. I understood that because when I was young, I used to be so scared of my freaking, you wanted to ask for a weekend off, and I was like, oh my God, stressing. And then I realized, they need me.
That's at the beginning. When you start
that's at the beginning. Then listen,
trust me.
I know you need me because nobody wants to work here. I'm underpaid.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work here.
Yeah. No, that was me at my jobs. Every job that I had, it was like, you know what? I'm not going to give you the option. If I have to take days off, I'm going to take days off.
I'm taking a day off, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. So, I feel like that's really important as well, to just really, not do things that you don't want to do because you're just letting yourself vibrate low for no reason, and we ain't got no time for that.
Nope. We're not doing that in 2023.
We're not doing that. Bye, Karen.
So that was point number 3?
Yeah, 3, I believe,
okay. So the fourth one, guys, okay. So Sabrina talked at the beginning that it's not because you want to step into your feminine energy that you want to push away your masculine energy. And so you want to give yourself a little bit of structure, and I'm going to explain why. We're both really organized and really, it's like our strength, okay? So, okay. Yeah, so
our moms will be proud.
My mom knows, she knows.
Yeah, shout out, Mom.
Yeah, so you want to give yourself a little bit of structure, and that's, for example, when you start your week every Sunday, for example, you want to plan ahead your week. You want to, for example, get the things out the way that you don't want to do throughout the weeks. For example, the laundry, cleaning, grocery, anything. You just want to be stricter and be organized. That way, your feminine energy, you're gonna be comfortable stepping into your feminine energy because you feel like you have that feeling of being taken care of.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like you have that structure. You stepped into your masculine energy to get organized, get your shit together, just plan everything. And now that everything is settled, now you can step into your feminine energy and be confident stepping into your feminine energy because you're like, okay, I have my shit together. I know what I have to do. Now this time right now, today, I want to do this, and that. I want to feel good. I want to go take a walk. I want to do anything that, you know what I mean? Like you're going to step into that energy and be comfortable and not stress about, oh, but I didn't plan anything. And like I need to work my business, I need to go to work, and like you're not gonna stress about that.
And I also think that it takes off some stress off of your shoulder. Like I'm not saying go and be as organized as we are, because some people that stresses them out, but me sometimes looking at them stresses me out. Like if I'm not as organized as I am, I start stressing because I personally like to know what I'm doing when I'm doing it, which when I know everything, then I can just let it go because I know everything is planned out, everything is, so all I got to do is step in and get into my flow state, right? And then you allow things again. But that's what works for us. Like being that organized allows me to step into my feminine. But baby, you being that like time by time will stress you, therefore take you away from being feminine. So you gotta find something that works for you. But you do need a certain structure. You do need certain discipline. It doesn't have to be that crazy. But just because that way, when you know what to do, you can just flow through the steps.
Yeah.
Right?
You just as long as you feel that you're taken care of. That's the point. You gotta feel like you're settled and that you know what you're doing.
Like you're good. You got yourself.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's the feeling that you want to have, and then you're gonna be comfortable stepping into your feminine energy. So,
love that. Definitely love that. So that was point number 4, I believe. Yeah. Now, the last point that we have for you guys today is I want you to let yourself receive.
Yes.
I want you to allow things to come into your life. And that's one of my good friends, Dre, that taught me that. Is like, you know, when somebody sometimes they offer you, like, for example, a gum, they want to pay for your coffee, and you're like, oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Right? You know what you're doing? You're blocking abundance.
Yeah.
So, or, you know, like, oh, let me invite you tonight. You're like, no, allow. If your friend tells you, let me invite you on a coffee, say yes, because you gotta let yourself receive and open yourself to abundance and stop blocking it away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay for you to say yes, because I'm very independent and I'll always pay for my stuff. That, like, if you tell me, oh, I'll pay for your coffee, I'm like, no, like, I got it. Like, thanks, but like, I got it. Like, I'll ask you to, like, me for you to, but you know what I mean? So. But because I've just been used to doing that, but then you're blocking blessings away for no reason. You're like, you know, you're not in a state of allowance at that moment. You're like lowering your energy, and it's not like you're not doing it in a bad way, in a negative way, but that's still what it's doing. So
you're doing that unconsciously.
Exactly, but you gotta let yourself receive the love, allow the blessing into your life. Yeah. Let people give. If
it's
like
the same thing with compliments.
Yeah,
when people are saying you're beautiful, you're so
like,
smart.
Oh yeah, no. That was me.
Yeah, that was me too.
Like, oh, you're beautiful. Oh yeah, but my hair.
Yeah.
Oh, you're beautiful. Oh yeah, but my top is old. And now I changed that to the point that when I was in Miami, I had a girl, and every time I would tell her, you're so pretty, she's like, oh yeah, but I'm old. And I was like, babe, you're gonna stop freaking saying that. You're gonna say thank you.
Yeah.
And now she applied it. But me telling her that much, like, now I just know it. If you tell me I'm pretty, I'm gonna be like, thank you. And I really want to say like something. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
because you're blocking it away. And I don't know why we freaking do that. Like, say thank you, man. You gorgeous.
Yeah.
You're amazing. Like, your hair is freaking glowy. Like, I don't know.
We've been conditioned that way.
We've been conditioned that way.
Yeah. And yeah, I feel like you just gotta allow every blessings every time somebody invite you, say yes. And I remember
unless you don't want to do it.
Yeah, unless obviously. But if you feel like, you want to pay me a coffee, you want to, take me on a date, whatever, say yes.
Say yes.
You feel like
fly you out to Dubai, say yes. Say yes and ask for a +1 and send me a DM at Sabrina Cividal. We're going to Dubai this year.
In December. I'm excited.
Excited.
But it's gonna be my first time.
It's gonna be my first time too. Unless you want to fly me out. I take invitations. I cannot block my abundance.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Because we're feminine over here and we're tapped in with our divine energy. So that's pretty much it, guys. Honestly, like, this topic was very highly requested because a lot of people want to know, like, how do I, like, because I want to be feminine, but then I want to still be alpha because I still want to get my shit together, and it's okay. You can
have both.
You can have both, and as a matter of
fact,
we all have both, whether you want it or not. You are masculine and you are feminine. Yes, you watching this, even though you're a boy, even though you're a girl, both of y'all have both.
Yeah.
But it's good to know, and it's good to understand, like, what's the feminine and what's the masculine, and what's their purpose, because they both have a purpose in our personalities and in our life.
Yeah. And
then once that you know how to use them in your advantage for the different areas of your life as well. And so hopefully the 5 points that we gave you guys today are going to help you kind of like acknowledge that, don't push away your masculine energy, because it's helping you do a lot.
Yeah.
It's really helping you. Like, I feel like our masculine allows us to step into our feminine.
Yeah.
Like you said on point number 4, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? Because it relieves off the stress and everything.
Yeah. You know that you have your shit together, and then once you know that everything is settled, now you can step into your feminine energy and have fun and create.
Which is also why, like us, like alpha women, because we're pretty much alphas. Like, I consider myself as an alpha woman. Yeah. Like, I cannot chit chat. Like, I'm very like, like, it's like, like, I'm not that little. Like, especially like during text, like, I'm such a freaking straight up type of gal. Like, anyways, we'll talk about that on another episode. Yeah. But that's why, for example, an alpha woman would want a man that's way more alpha. Why? So it allows her to step into their feminine. But now I'm talking to my independent gal that has nobody. Okay, then you gotta have your masculine so you can allow your own self to step into your feminine. But women like us need a man that's more. If I'm more alpha than you, bro, it's not working. Exactly. Like, I can be the man in the relationship. I want to be my feminine self, because all I do is be alpha every day, all day. So
You heard? You heard that?
Listen to it again. My men's, please step into your alpha energy because us women, like if I step over your toes, we have a problem. We have a problem. But again, it's the same thing. So if you're single, you know, your masculine will definitely help you, you know, just relieve and just be in your feminine. And if you're not, then your man's better step it up.
Step it up!
Anywho, I'm not even doing the worst faces. But anyways, I think that's going to be the end of the episode, guys. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully it was helpful. Let us know. Give us feedback. You can always follow us on the Talk Your Shit podcast on Instagram. Again, we have Melody at Adore Melo on IG. Sabrina, it's Sabrina Cividal. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys on another episode of the Talk Your Shit podcast. Ciao.